obviously exciting to be out here and B, though, we were off the air and got to go watch the end of practice yesterday, and they're running 2-minute, they're running goal line. You were in the league for 14 years.
Mm-hmm.
That was some intense practice for June. Not intense in a bad way.
Well, it's
high energy.
Like it's competitive, and I think that's the thing about it. I think these guys now are at a point where they're mature enough to understand how to put in work, but not try and harm each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And after the practice, you saw everybody coming up, dapping up and stuff. Because
totally.
Listen, man, for 14 years, I always wanted the guy across from me to give me the best look possible. So when I got in the game, it was just easy. When the lights are on and fans are in the stand, it doesn't take much to get somebody up. When you're in practice in the dog days of summer and like this time of year, it's hard as hell to go out there and do it for an hour and a half, 2 hours, whatever it is. But when the lights are on, that's easy. So if somebody is out there BSing around and not giving you the best look, you're not ready for the big time. You're not ready for the lights. So I saw a lot of them like competing, but not trying to do stupid stuff. And sometimes it's hard at this time of the year when you got so many new guys around. They haven't understood how you work yet, but they seem to be right on point.
I think DQ has talked about how Adam Peters puts the team together, but they have a lot of collaboration, and it's just so clear that being a good teammate and busting your ass to the highest level is the most paramount necessity to be a commander. You know what I mean? And like when DQ and Adam Peters talk about what they want in a commander, like they mean it. There is not lip service. The marketing department is not in charge. There's not somebody pulling things one way and then going the other direction.
It's consistency, and you and I have talked about that before we started doing this radio station and this radio show and after. If the coach or the front office is consistent at what they do, guys will adjust to that. If the coach or the front office comes in and they are trying to be hard one day and try to be your buddy the next day and be all those different things, then guess what? You're going to find out you're going to have different guys going different ways. But they're consistent in what they do. Look, Dan says it all the time. I have to have relationships with the dudes, with the guys. I want to know what's going on in their personal lives so I can be able to really approach them right how I will get stuff out of them in their professional life. So he's the one that's making sure guys are cool, making sure things are okay when they're not here or they're not coming in. So when they step in, things happen. Because you never, listen, Adam and Dan are attached. But those players got to always feel that coach has their back. And I think he does a great job of that.
Totally. You know what? Something that I've kind of given up seeking validation in my career at this point. Like I think my work can kind of stand on its own. But Jason Garrett was here yesterday. I don't know if you talked to Jason at all.
No, I left out. I wanted to go in and just smack him one. Yeah, I play with Jay. I think me and Jason would have gone on one staff.
Probably the Giants.
Giants staff. Yeah.
Super nice guy. I've met him a couple times, talked to him a couple times.
Little red.
Yeah, and obviously he did the bulk of his coaching in Dallas. He and Dan Quinn were assistants together in Miami like 20 years ago, and they're clearly still close friends. And I got to talk to Jason for a minute as he was leaving the field. And when Josh Harris bought the team and they were going through the process, right, all I said over and over and over was organizational alignment. I want the owner to hire the GM, to hire the coach, and everybody to be on board and pick your quarterback. And they did it. And you see what that alignment can do for an organization. Now, we've only seen the ups. Eventually, downs will come. That alignment is more important in the downs than it is in the ups.
Yeah.
Because everybody understands the direction this thing is going and why they want it to be that way.
When things are going good, it's not hard to get people on board.
Nah.
When things are going bad, you find out who's really about that life.
For sure. And I think Jason Garrett, I just asked him, hey, you've been around a lot of teams. Like, how do you think this team is operating? And he said, he's like, He's like, they've nailed it. When you have, he brought up the alignment on his own, right? And I think he said when you have owner to GM and all the way down and the coaches, because think about the coaching staff. One thing that always impresses me, I'm talking regular season, week 11. They're playing the Broncos. I don't know who the hell they're playing week 11, right? What coaches do, and this is a league-wide thing, and I imagine this is something that's kind of always happened. Week 11 is actually Miami. There's like a theme for the week. You know what I mean? And what I have seen in the past is whatever the theme for the week is, the coach will kind of push, and then you don't often hear about it. But whatever that is that week, I hear it independently from players and coaches all over the building at different moments, on camera, off camera. Like everybody is on board with what they're doing. And that starts in position rooms. That starts in position meetings.
See, the theme for the week is okay if you have an overall theme.
Right.
And every time you hear every one of those guys talk, I don't care who it is. What is it? Anytime, anybody, anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, they all have a overall theme to where, yes, they can branch off from that. Certain weeks they may feel like they got to, emphasize one point or the other a little bit more. But what I've liked about it, I remember when you asked the question, and I think I had a few other people ask me the question when they start doing the bag drill. You say, man, when things start getting tough, guys gonna keep doing that. I say, as long as he's consistent with it. And you watch all these new guys that were there yesterday, they jump right into it and they compete. And it's a competitive thing where they have two groups going across these bags, and each group is trying to go through this thing and try to finish up first. And I think that right there, everything that they do, there's a level of competition. People talk about Michael Jordan all the time.
Sure.
And Mike became so good, I think, at basketball and in other aspects of life because he's a damn good businessman as well, because he competes at everything. If you and I sitting here, if Mike wasn't walking in right now, he was sitting here, and I'm closer to the door than you are. He'll be in the corner. He'd say, I bet you I can get out that door before y'all. And we'll sit there and say, how much you want back? Because I'm looking right here. How you going to get past me? And you could jump across the table.
I think I'd go under.
But he'll find a way eventually where we get into a conversation and he'll fool you and like, yo, I got to do something real quick and be out the door and bam, he got us.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
We lost our damn money. But it's just always being on point in everything that you do. And I think what Dan has done, he's gotten every one of these players, for the most part, at this point, because they got some young guys probably still trying to get some other stuff out, to where everything that you do, try to be the best at it. And if that, because like when we talk about diets and stuff, I tell people, don't do a diet, have a lifestyle change.
Right.
Because if you do it every day, then it's just something you do. It's not something, oh, I'm doing it for a certain period of time. If guys just start trying to be the best at everything all the time, then you don't have to force it when you're on the football field.
Totally. And then when you have that type of atmosphere, it's like a jet wash. Like it just continues to create itself.
Totally.
And dude, unfortunately, when you have a negative toxic atmosphere, that's also a jet wash that just continues to create itself.
Because and the thing of it is like, it's not only just the players. And I think that's where we got lost over the years that were here prior. Everyone thought it was just like the players. You were around long enough to understand every aspect of this team suffered from what was going on at the top.
Sure.
Hey, attitudes, the way personalities were presented, everything's different now. Guys are much more inviting and fun when they were kind of closed off before. Why? Because that's how the person up top was.
100%, man. They have hit all the right buttons, and the trajectory is pointing upward clearly. Also helps when you draft a stud quarterback. Like it's remarkable how much of an impact that can make.